Hello, my friends. I am greeting you to supposedly the last episode of Kraut Observations. At the end of the video, I will give you plenty of insight into the whole situation, but for those who don't give a crap and want the madness, we'll get right into it. And for our goodbye, I have invested quite the time to give you the longest episode ever. So park your cheeks in something comfy and, oh yeah.
We're gonna get this rolling.
And rolling we are, as is the guy in front of us. It's cool that he is able to move his steel box forward, but boy would it be cool if he was any competent at doing so.
Hast du eine Meise?
The chauffeur is pissed, and rightfully so. Those little reflective things on the side of the car are not there for decoration. He hasn't learned that yet either. In the following clip, the driver found the mirrors, but he doesn't find something different.
Hey, was ist denn mit ihm? Ja, Mensch, Junge! Fahr weiter! Fahr!
Okay, so I don't know about your country, but in Germany, the law says you have to stop at the end of an acceleration lane and wait for some space to merge into traffic. Which is, frankly, bullshit. It is far more unsafe than keep moving for a moment on the shoulder to merge into traffic at speed, instead of accelerating from a stand. So even though logically what the dude in front of us is doing is unsafe and annoying, he only followed the law and the camera driver should seriously relax. His repeated honking might have been partially responsible why that other driver got nervous and merged onto the runway as somebody came speeding. Relax, alright? Everybody relax behind the wheel, come on. Do we get the same thing again? Not exactly. This acceleration lane got no shorter, which the guy in front of us could keep using, so he needed to stop because of traffic. The camera driver actually knows this spot, and he was attentive. Only that he was attentive in the wrong direction. He was checking for the approaching traffic to make a proper merge, and while doing so, he basically only looked behind himself and totally missed what the other car is doing. His emergency brake system saved his ass. We are in the car with Hardware Junkie, which is an interesting name for somebody not even having a dashcam. But anyway, the passenger recording via phone a situation where a truck needs to back up out of a road he accidentally went into.
Der nächste fährt durch, anstatt dass er mal ein bisschen wartet.
We are being witness of this red car being very obnoxious and so very impatient. It's ridiculous. I just said, relax, people. Tell me you are a bad driver without telling me you are a bad driver.
Man kann ja bloß nicht eine Sekunde warten. Ja, und jetzt hängt sie fest. Yippie!
But the hell am I talking about, as if anything but bad drivers gets shown here? Check out the white van man over there. He recognized his bad swerve just in time, could have ended up in some huge fireworks. Take a look at the white Mercedes. Practicing the art of pointless lane changes. He knows the deal but has just started out. You need a bit of XP and raise your stats so that you can reach this guy's level here. On an empty piece of unlimited German Autobahn, this dude is driving slower than a truck. The logical conclusion? Move over to the passing lane and keep driving slowly over there. Like, literally, he stays there. Continuing at truck speed on the passing lane and blocking off following traffic. Yep, this guy's an advanced player in the art of shitty driving. Somebody on a similar level we got over here. He's the very slowest of all vehicles and is crawling around on the middle lane. Oh well, not good enough. Press quarter circle and B and clock the left lane. Level up. Watch out, another artist there. He wants to take the exit, but doing this from the right lane is for pussies. And this is how it looks like when a professional racing driver is on free time in his boring family van.
Vorüber!
Yeah, this didn't look very funny. The truck driver should make sure not to drive on the other lane, but this damn road sure looks pretty narrow. Narrow road here too, but that is not a truck. That is a dumbass! Giving in to your impatience and pass the bus right at the crossroad. Too bad Black Friday's over, they had a family pack on common sense on offer. Similar here, even though the cyclist doesn't provide the same dimensions as a bus, it really isn't a good idea. But the yellow sign marks this here as the main road, so traffic from a side road gotta give priority to all traffic on the main road, even when that traffic is in the middle of a stupid passing. And without a good transition, look, zebras! Leon was driving around in Africa at some point and saw those stripy horses. I have never been there. I would like to travel around there, but Africa really isn't safe at all for the kind of serious adventure that I like. I usually like to explore nature and not only stick to roads, but as we see here, it's not even perfectly safe on the roads. I believe 99% of all watchers of this episode don't need to be afraid of elephants on the road, but if you are a pedestrian, getting hit by a car would be pretty much the same as if fighting with an elephant. Look over here, the classic S63 AMG VIP. The horsepower he got mandates driving like a jerk. The power of the money to make people believe they are more important than anybody else. This sign here tells us that we are on the priority road. I don't know, stupidity, obliviousness, anything but the classics going on here? Looks like the quick Audi here wants to leave this road. Oh, that's how it is. So much professionalism even leaves a mark on the truck driver. Over here, we got the regular speed limit of 50 kph in town. Ahead there is a speed trap, which the guy in front of us is aware of.
Oh. Ja, wegen der Blitzer runterbremse. Ist 50 erlaubt, hey. Oh Mann.
There is a scooter hiding behind that truck.
Oh. Okay, Garmin. Video speichern. Hast du gerade gesehen, wie dicht der da an dem Roller vorbei ist mit dem LKW? Ja. Boah.
People will do everything to get past those annoying two-wheeled obstacles. Here we even got our own bright-colored lane.
Hey!
Sure, idiot drivers will mess with any kind of bike. They are only very small vehicles. But even a 7-ton truck will not hold them back, which we are driving here. But when it comes to driving completely blind, the kind of vehicle doesn't matter at all. I guess he was getting the impression that he's alone on this road. I mean, who doesn't have his private freeway? Look, the lane next to us goes straight. But arrows are only for peasants, not for your majesty. But we are getting rid of him a moment later. Tell me, how do you manage it when you missed your exit in a roundabout? Of course you're coming up with a convoluted turnaround instead of just driving in a circle. Priority to right, pal. This is a rich man. All those valuable organs. And I have witnessed the same thing a while ago. This is incredible. I am not religiously following every rule, but I am nothing like such a kamikaze rider. Still, I do have a donor card, and I sincerely hope such people have one too. A squad car just leaving the place when this dude walks the red light. And over here, somebody cruising along at double the speed limit. What the hell is going on with this guy? He's on the bike lane, on foot and in the wrong direction, but is gesturing that we're not supposed to drive on this lane? This one is truly special. Would you say that this road here offers enough space for a cyclist? Well, this cyclist has a different opinion. Yeah, take your time while overtaking. Oh, dude, come back! I got a donut card for you, take it! I hope I will never need my donut card. Hey! Hocken! Priority road. Never mind. Hello there. This guy was totally able to see us, so even though I don't know why he kept going, he deserved his backup of shame. Wrong road? Well, let's turn around. Dude, what the fuck? It's good to know that our man realized how badly he messed up and hopefully won't do it again. Turning around over the solid line is one thing, but he failed to check for traffic first and everybody was very close to a life-changing crash. Or maybe even life-ending crash. A good reminder that any level of obliviousness can end in disaster. This here is not a case of obliviousness, but also carries the risk for disaster.
Deine Mission ist der vollkommen behindert, ist der vollkommen dumm? Sag mal, bist du eigentlich komplett geistig gestört?
One of those stupid amoebas who for whatever reason think they are totally invincible in their steel box. Yeah, never mind the scooter dude. When you crash into him, only he's gonna die, so why would you care? Oh look, this cyclist is creative. Oh well, he didn't run the light and he's not hindering the truck, so seems legit to me. But I am not too sure about the legitimacy of this move here. And somebody else has a similar plan.
Nee.
Das denn?
Here we are about to meet a true majesty. This dumbass is complaining about us that we didn't brake for them to enter the runway. Our majesty doesn't give a shit about that the runway has right-of-way over the acceleration lane. Don't get me wrong, when you see a car coming up the road, it would be a nice thing to get off the gas and generate a gap for them to merge into. But that would be optional. The simple legal truth is, we've got right-of-way and he's gotta wait if need be. Are we on the same page? Good, because we are not done yet with this specialist. The left lane is about to run out. Just the perfect time for starting to pass. Pro move. And just a couple seconds later, the fun continues. I'm pretty sure that was not a mistake. This guy seems to have issues and might be benefiting from a good ass kicking. If you want to turn around, where would you think this is appropriate to do? Sure thing, right in the middle of the intersection. It is totally not an option to keep going for 2 minutes and look for a proper possibility that doesn't come with a high likelihood of an accident. Fire truck on a mission.
Die fahren alle, guck dir das an!
Well, when the windows are up, the siren is kinda hard to hear. This guy here got the windows up as well. But I have a hard time accepting this as a valid excuse in this case. When 1 billion people, including a 500 million of cyclists, suddenly stop despite a green light, there might be something going on. I don't know how it is working in your country, but I am pretty sure it is very similar all around the world. That when an emergency vehicle is approaching with lights and siren, you should get out of the way, which includes to ignore the rules for a second. In such a case, you can carefully push past the red light without endangering anybody and make way for vehicles which have a business of getting somewhere as fast as possible. You never know if it is actually a case of life or death. But to be able to react quick and proper, you should always know what is going on behind you. So don't forget to use your rearview mirror every now and then. Way too many people are focused on nothing else but the next 50 meters ahead of them and wouldn't have the slightest idea if a nuke went off behind them. Being an attentive driver requires you to recognize more than only the spots where your tires will be in the next 5 seconds. Oh, would you look at this? We have another Majesty who needs to be in front of anybody else. Wait a second. No, we don't. We have another disgusting jackass who seems to have some beef with this white car, and so he goes for brake checking the entire left lane. I can't stand such assholes, and if I ever saw or experienced this, authorities would get a real nice report with HD camera footage. Such people have a level of selfishness which contains quite the destructive tendencies, which is the exact same thing for people who race over a parking space to squeeze back into the traffic jam a couple cars further ahead.
Das ist unfassbar, ja.
Alter, bist du nicht ganz dicht oder was?
Back into town on the bike. I like that. There is a car performing a parking maneuver in front of the truck, which is why he's swerving right. Our man recognizes that passing now would be a bad idea, but common sense is really expensive these days. Despite how idiotic the riding style of that guy was, the truck driver really needs to check his mirrors before moving his huge and heavy vehicle to any direction. We all have seen people driving with an open trunk, haven't we? Usually that is the case when somebody needs to transport something big. Doesn't seem to be the case here, so our man tells the driver, offers to close it, and that's what is happening. I gotta ask though, how capable is that person of driving in general if he doesn't recognize his open tailgate? Doesn't he hear the outside noise or feel the unusual wind flow in the car? It's one of those cases where the incident itself is not very critical, but when thinking the whole thing further, who knows what else this incapability could lead to. These drivers here are not necessarily incapable, but just don't give a shit about the light. But they forgot something, that there is a karma cop around. The first 2 cars over red, you can let that slip. But yeah, the black one really took the cake, and you better be careful with breaking the rules in Switzerland. They say Germany's not messing around, but you don't want to get in contact with Swiss law enforcement.
Stammgäste des ehemaligen Sanatoriums hier am See. Sigmund Freud, Franz Kafka, Rudolf Steiner, Karl May und mehrere Regenten des Fürstenhauses Liechtenstein. Sie binden Stunden.
Biker doesn't care about the solid lines. Well, bikes are very quick with overtaking, so it's not anything critical. But the following pass in a blind corner is quite a bit more critical. And this here shows you how suddenly somebody can pop up.
Position ungenau. Suche Satelliten. Position gefunden.
He did even look, but went anyway. Okay. Those stripes make a fabulous lane, do they not? Oh boy, this bus is pretty late with his pass. But not late enough. We got somebody else though, who seems to be thinking, oh crap, I need to get in front of this truck ASAP. What a cunt! You could already see yesterday that this is not gonna fit. But take a look at how much this van is wobbling. I have a serious suspicion that it is badly overloaded. which would also drastically lengthen the braking distance, leading to this whole show of failure. There might be many lanes, but we are in town at a speed limit of 50 kph. Yeah, pretty easy to mix this road up with the freeway, I get it. Oh, the safety distance to the right there is abysmal. But hey, it may still be the size of 1.5 cars. Idiotic driving, but that's not the end of the story. Yep, somebody did something stupid, so caveman law requires you to go apeshit and deliver a real proper coercion. Hello there, Black Mercedes. How are you doing? Welcome on the highway. Bye, have a great time. Hello there again. Another double solid, and we got a farming vehicle in front of us. Too bad. That certainly means nothing to those guys, and they don't even care about oncoming traffic. Hey, real talk, I won't judge ignoring some splotch of color on the ground if nobody's there, but such a maneuver almost kills the scale for obliviousness. Per my explanation, I don't judge the BMW.
Ja, genau.
Alter Schwede. Du hast auf der Straße nichts zu suchen. Alter. Du hast auf der Straße nichts zu suchen. Da ist ein Radweg. Sie sind verpflichtet, den Radweg zu benutzen, junger Mann.
Ah, you gotta love those people who want to berate others while not knowing jack shit. Because this cyclist is not liable to using this bad excuse for a bike lane here. The driver wants the cyclist to go on this bike lane, but there is no bike lane. The driver sees there is a line of paint on the sidewalk and just automatically takes it for being a sidewalk with a bike lane. But in Germany, some path is only a bike lane and mandates usage for cyclists if there is a blue sign, and nothing else. No blue sign means no bike lane, even if there were bike icons painted on the ground. So naturally, the cyclist is perfectly fine to be on the road by law, even though some cavemen on the planet don't even want cyclists to exist at all. High speed on the freeway.
Felix!
Oh boy, isn't our man so very lucky with especially attentive drivers today.
Sag mal, hat der eigentlich noch alle Latten am Zaun?
Did I dare to say attentive? Yeah, it wasn't such a big deal, but imagine what could happen if those idiots always drive this blindly. I am alone on the road. Nothing could ever happen. I don't have a single worry. Bitch, this is how people die! Look at this, Grandpa clogging up the left lane and some other guy ignoring any common sense with this distance, whose pointlessness even gets amplified when he realizes that he wants to exit here. Shit, the brain dead are now able to use vehicles. I don't think we'll make it through the apocalypse. But most zombies stay classic and remain on foot.
Ja, du hast rot.
What a stupid motherfucker! Not just because he accessed the road when the camera driver was approaching, mistakes can happen, but because the whole package of this guy screams asshole. The writing on his clothing that we needed to blur out, his ignorance walking the road while fixated on his phone, and not to forget that he acts all pissed at our man for his mistake and then even throwing insults. This dumbass is a very self-centered person, and I am implying that he isn't a nice guy you'd like to have around. Remember the Porsche from earlier? I'm not totally sure, but that looked like another Porsche to me, exceeding the speed limit by 2.5 times. Look at this light. It's green for quite a while now, but for whatever reason, there are still plenty of cars from the crossroads in the intersection, which includes the cops. This guy to the right here delivers quite the display of impatience. He's about to be doing some serious lane hopping in order to make it a few cars further, which gives him, what, a few seconds to arrive earlier on his target? I don't think it's worth to draw the attention of cops for that. Another thing that cops would really not find funny is to stop on the freeway because you want to squeeze into the jammed exit lane. Why? Because it's fucking dangerous! In such a case, either merge early enough to be standing on the shoulder, if need be, or keep moving your ass to the next exit. But the places you want to be are not important enough that it justifies endangering traffic in this way. What do we have here? I can tell you what we've got. This is one of those many facepalm clips. Our man is doing a somewhat late passing, and he's a little fast, but nothing too much of an issue, right? Well, the asshole in front of us did see an issue there and was delivering a proper brake check. I understand that the camera driver was approaching quickly and probably gave the impression to be a pushing racer, but it is not his fucking job to lecture him. I can't stand this kind of disgusting drivers who are enforcing their way of driving onto others. You don't make the rules and you don't enforce them. Our man is not as stupid as to brake check back, he just wants to get the scumbag behind him. The Audi over there would like to enter his property, if only people would always be as attentive as to keep entries clear. While we are observing this, another majesty appears out of nowhere, bypassing all traffic and going straight from the turn lane. I am wondering what he would have done if that first truck wouldn't have turned right. Driving by a gas station and somebody over there wants to exit it. Another facepalm moment. Derek seriously needs to relax, but that other guy needs his license taken away for the brake check. It's disgusting behavior. Additionally, driving especially slow in a berating manner. Better get the hell out of here. But we are not done yet, only that things continue somewhere else. Traffic comes to a stop at this light here, and even cyclists have their dedicated stopping line. Most of them don't care, but this one here is actually stopping. Okay, that is one very unusual accident. The cyclist from behind also didn't plan to stop. He was looking left to check if pedestrians are crossing the road and didn't recognize the other guy stopping. I'd say he's very lucky that he doesn't seem to have gotten hurt. Bigger vehicle, bigger right of way. That bus is just taking the necessary road space. Please meet Mr. Incompetence.
Alter, das kann doch nicht wahr sein. Wie dämlich muss man sein?
It doesn't look like much, but imagine the camera bike was a car. This utterly incompetent dumbass was passing another cyclist in a blind and sharp corner. If suddenly a car appeared, both drivers would need a very fast reaction to prevent a crash. And look at how close he already is to that cyclist here. If he would have met oncoming traffic that he could not see, he might have also automatically steered to the right and run into that cyclist. I cannot stretch enough how stupid this driving is and how it is one of those very many times where a crash didn't happen only because of pure luck. But out of all the idiots out there, every now and then, luck runs out for one of them, and then their incompetence causes others to suffer. Oh crap, that sucks hard. A brave truck driver was stopping and trying to kill the flame with a fire extinguisher. But that attempt was futile, and he should watch out that his truck doesn't also catch fire with how close he stopped to the car. In this case here, a fire extinguisher saved the day, because the brake on this truck was overheating and catching on fire. But it was gotten under control before the whole vehicle burst into flames. These lights are all red, and to the right is a tram waiting to get a green light. Everybody is standing. You really wouldn't have an excuse that you didn't recognize this light. There you go. And check it out, you can see the next light over there. And on that one, I saw this.
Bester Mann.
And that is about what you are gonna see here. That was the last episode of KO. For those few people who truly enjoyed this content, I am really sorry. But the simple reality is that this content requires quite a bit of work and time, and nobody likes to spend all this on a pointless mission. I have been doing this for over 1.5 years now, and of course you can't expect a channel to gain millions of subs in such a time, but the amount of subs and views KO receives just doesn't justify it anymore to be putting all this effort into it. If I was someone without hobbies, that would probably be no issue, but in fact I am a crazy busy person, which is the reason why KO went from regular uploads to uploads every week and then every 2 weeks. Now, after all this time, KO hasn't made its cut. I am absolutely sure that this channel could still be successful if the targeted audience would find it, but we gotta admit that this is somewhat niche content, and I am not willing to put another 5 years of work into it, only for trying out if it goes anywhere. Because with literally any YouTube channel, it's a big game of luck. And also, I gotta be honest, if I am devoting myself to this game, it's not supposed to be with KO. This channel was an entertaining side quest, but was never meant to be the center of my creative world. Because I can do so much more, and I am intending to show it off with a very personal channel, which is under construction for way too long now. And since that is already taking way longer than I like, I can't keep draining my time into something that doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Sure thing, my channel of passion might also not go anywhere, you can never tell. But you would never know if you don't try. I have tried with KO, and it didn't work out. And KO isn't really my true passion. This personal channel is a matter of passion, and I gotta set my priorities. KO will not go on, but maybe one day you will stumble upon an entertaining video and you'll be like, wait a second, I remember that voice. I am definitely planning to keep being active with media. If you might be truly sad about this ending, you gotta remember that there are far over 100 episodes remaining here. Many hours you could rewatch. I always keep rewatching content that I love. So feel free to quit your subscription, there might never again be an upload here. Or you could also keep it, because who knows what happens in the future. The channel will remain, and maybe one day I have a feeling for doing another video just for fun. Or maybe Leon will give it a try again. Or maybe the channel keeps chilling here and for whatever reason suddenly gaining loads of new subs out of nowhere so that it might make sense to revive it. But I am not giving any promises about anything happening here. Kraut Observations will go into hibernation, and I will be concentrating on my personal channel. That's how things go. If something doesn't work out, you move on. It's only important not to get lazy and simply do nothing. Keep doing what you love, that is important. And that is what I am doing. And hopefully you too. I am Mark, and even if it may not be here, maybe we will meet again. Have a good time, and goodbye.